My name's Russell Hughes and I'm the Managing Director of Alluston Health.
Okay, and perhaps you'd like to tell us some of the events that led up to the formation of Alluston Health and why you set it up.
Well, basically I had a problem with drink, alcohol. As a young man, I drank normally and went out to parties and drank at the weekends and that sort of stuff. I drank at work, after work sometimes, but nothing crazy, a couple of pints, that sort of stuff. And really enjoyed myself in a social aspect. As I moved up in work, becoming a director of another company, I found myself having to go and entertain quite a bit, and that happened all over the world really. So I started to drink sort of lunch times, meals, dinners, the social things, and it got to a point where I started drinking a little bit too much, but that was fine as well because everybody else was drinking, on these occasions a little too much as well. And then it got to a point where I was drinking a lot more than other people that were around me, and then I found that there's something wrong there. But by that time I couldn't stop. It got past the enjoyment stage, and it was just how quickly I could get that alcohol down my neck. And from there, I found myself getting myself into real big problems. One of the things was the first thing, what normally happens to people, is they lose their driving license through drink driving. Again, that didn't affect me that much because most of the time I was working in London, and it just brushed off. It wasn't a big thing at the time. But then work started to suffer. Meetings started to be delayed, daytimes and night times. I was either recovering from alcohol, or I was actually having alcohol before meetings. And these were office meetings, they weren't lunchtime meetings.
Sure.
Any excuse to get out of the office was to take somebody to a hotel or a restaurant, tea for some to eat. Any excuse was good for me. It got to a point where alcohol was part of my daily routine, and the point was, I wasn't the type that got up in the morning and had a drink straight away. That wasn't me. But of course, I was still drunk from the night before. So when it got to lunchtime, that's when I started to have a drink. This lasted for the first period when I realised that I had a problem. This lasted for over a year. Things were suffering an awful lot. Family, relationships, work, everything really was suffering. In my experience, the first thing was denial. I don't have a problem. I can stop any time. I can just go out and have a few beers. I don't have to get drunk. So first of all, you say, right, I'm not going to drink at work. I'm not going to drink. I'm only going to, when I have to entertain, I will have a drink, and I'll only have a drink on the weekend. It doesn't work because the weekend goes into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you have a meeting on Wednesday, and then you're back to where you started before. So it doesn't work that way. So I just got worse and tried all different ways of regulating my alcohol, and none of it worked. None. And by this time we're in the second year, or maybe the third year. And
so after the denial thing.
After the denial thing.
When did you know? When did you stop denying it? When did you know you had a problem?
Well, I mean, after about 2 years, maybe 3 years, and then that's when I realised I'm going to have to seek medical help. And the first port of call there was the doctors. And really, the type of person I was, it wasn't, the doctor just, well, just stop. And you try to explain to the doctor, well, I can't just stop. It's not like that. And in fact, as he was talking to me, I wanted to go for a drink, And And I get on well with my local GP. He's, he's a family GP, great guy. And he said, okay then, we will refer you to one of in my area, one of the local alcohol self-help groups and that sort of thing. And so I went to one of these meetings, and I went through an interview and was assessed, or what they thought had been assessed, and I found it just woefully no good.